Japanese culture has always felt so deeply connected to nature. The sun, the trees, the sky, the rocks, the mountains, even the sea. There's a belief here that gods live in the mountains. And honestly, when you're standing in front of them, you can feel why. Almost every mountain in Japan carries this sense of spirituality. But Mount Fuji is on a whole other level. It's not just a mountain. It feels like one of the most incredible creations of nature, filled with centuries of prayers, beliefs, and spiritual energy. People have always seen it as something sacred, and somehow that makes it feel alive. Since the day I first set foot in Japan, climbing Mount Fuji has been one of my biggest dreams. And now, I finally get to turn that dream into reality. So it's finally happening, the Mount Fuji trip. Just a few more hours to start everything. Now I'm trying to prepare myself for the journey. And actually I know many people hike Mount Fuji in one day, but our journey runs for 3 days. It all because I want to hike from the base to the summit, and my friends will join with me from the 5th station. Tomorrow I have to catch the first train to Shinjuku, which is about 5:22, and then I have to catch the first bus for Kawaguchiko, which is 6:45 a.m. So it's all about running with the time. Hopefully I will not get lost on the way. So finally, in morning also I removed some things from my backpack, and now I think it's much lighter than yesterday, but it's still heavy. The morning sky was glowing with the soft colors of dawn, and I hopped on the very first train from Shinmasato station, excited to start this journey. I reached Shinjuku station around 6:30. The bus departed exactly on time, super punctual as you'd expect in Japan. And the whole way, I couldn't stop smiling. Every passing minute, I was getting closer to Mount Fuji, closer to a dream I had been holding for so long. It was a clear sunny day, and as we got closer to Kawaguchiko, I finally caught my first glimpse of Mount Fuji. It was absolutely mesmerizing, rising so high, filling the horizon and touching the big blue sky. After arriving at Kawaguchiko station, I took a taxi to Kitaguchi Hongo Fuji Senjen Shrine, the traditional starting point of the Yoshida Trail. This shrine has been welcoming climbers and pilgrims for centuries, marking the beginning of the journey up Mount Fuji. Like most shrines in Japan, Kitaguchi Hongo Fuji Senjen Shrine is surrounded by these huge ancient trees. Beneath those huge trees, you really feel how small a human is in the vastness of nature. And you can feel the weight of history they witnessed quietly. The sun's rays were filtering through the leaves and branches, casting beautiful patterns on the ground. It felt like the forest itself was alive, and the light made everything seem even more majestic, almost magical.
Standing there, you can also feel the history and the spirituality of this place. It's more than just a trailhead. It's where the adventure truly begins, and where you can feel the inner strength of the spirit guiding you. Mount Fuji is the tallest mountain in Japan, standing at 3,776 meters above sea level. There are 4 main trails to climb: Yoshida, Subashiri, Gotemba, and Fujinomiya. The Yoshida Trail, which approaches from the north side of the mountain in Yamanashi Prefecture, is considered the easiest and most popular, mainly because it has more mountain huts, better facilities, and is the most accessible from Tokyo. Unlike me, if you want a more convenient hike, you can just hop off at the 5th station by bus, car, or taxi and start your hike at around 2,300 meters. From there, you will climb roughly another 1,400 meters of elevation to reach the summit. Most hikers take about 5 to 7 hours to reach the top and another 3 to 5 hours to come back down. On the first day, I hiked from Kitaguchi Hongo Fuji Senjen Shrine up to Sato Gaya Hut. It's a long journey of about 16.6 kilometers, climbing roughly 850 meters to reach an elevation of 2,330 meters. I took the old forest trail, and along the way, I could see many bear warning signs. Around 10:30, I reached Omeyageshi Nakanochaya Tea House. So, still the bear sign on. It's everywhere. Okay. Totally everywhere. I passed the tea house, but I didn't stop for a tea because I don't feel like I need a tea. After a couple of hours of hiking, it was my time for learning lessons. I wish if I brought more water. I don't know whether this is first station or not, but there's a kind of abandoned hut behind me. I try to check whether I am close to the 5th station or not, but network is not strong enough to do that. This is so good. This is all wet with my sweat. I hadn't studied the map properly and I didn't bring a printed one either. Then my mobile signal started to drop, which meant no more navigation apps or outside connection. Seems that place is not the first station, but it's a tea house. That was the ruins of Oishichaya Tea House. I have arrived at some kind of car park, but I think I cannot be near 5th station this soon. After seeing the information board about hiking fees and Satagaya Hut, I mistakenly believed I was already near the 5th station. It was quicker than I thought, and it was not hard as much as I thought. Okay, let's enter to this heaven. The real hurdles were still ahead, ready to teach me more and more lessons. It is quite shady. It's everywhere shady. The sun suddenly covered by a cloud. I can hear thundering, but I don't think it will be rain. But there are some grey clouds ahead me. I don't know, I can drink some water without frustrating. I don't want to eat. I didn't feel that much hungry, but this guy is really needed. Coffee hut over there, they had water bottles and even the cold ones. I feel so refreshed. I think I'm gonna start the hike again. I don't feel tired. It's so funny. I thought I'm near the 5th station, but only now I have arrived to the first station. This is the first station, old first station. 1,120 meters above sea level. I'm here and I have to go all the way up to here. And here is my resting place. I was too happy that I made it so quickly and without any hassle, and I'm not even in the middle. The trail wasn't crowded at all. I only met a group of 3 foreigners on the way up, but there were plenty of hikers coming down, mostly Japanese. What really touched me was how almost everyone greeted me and shared a few encouraging words as they passed. For most of the hike, it felt like I had the entire trail to myself, surrounded by the vast, quiet forest. However, for a while, until you really merge yourself with the rhythm of nature, every little shadow or shape behind you can look like a bear. And when the sky turns cloudy, the forest gets even darker without the sun rays, making everything feel a bit more mysterious. It was nearly 2 o'clock when I finally reached the second station. The entire place was surrounded by ropes and warning signs prohibiting entry because now it's nothing but a collapsing building. Even the old torii gates are barely standing. In the old days, these lower stations weren't just rest stops. They were important spiritual waypoints. Pilgrims would pause here to pray, rest, and prepare for their sacred journey ahead. However, when the Sobru Line Road opened in 1964, it allowed vehicles to reach a new 5th station halfway up the mountain. Climbing suddenly became much more convenient and fewer people walked this traditional path. Over time, the huts, shrines, and stations were abandoned and slowly fell into ruin. As I walked through, I tried to imagine what it must have been like back then, busy with pilgrims, full of voices, prayers, and laughter. Today, there's only silence and the remains of crumbling huts hidden in the forest. It felt like stepping into a forgotten piece of history, with nature quietly guarding the memories of everyone who once passed this way. The third station once had 3 tea houses and a shrine. Miharashi-chaya was named for its incredible views of the Fuji 5 Lakes area. The sky was foggy when I arrived, so all I could see were faint, blurry shapes. Just as I was about to leave, I met a girl who had come all the way down, thinking she was heading to the Sobru Line 5th station. A little later, I met another guy who had made the same mistake. Even though I'm not the best navigator myself, I was able to point them in the right direction. The guy thanked me, but he kept heading back while loudly cursing. And yeah, I totally get him. You think you're nailing it, getting close to the 5th station, when suddenly you meet a friendly stranger at the 3rd station. The thought of climbing all those steep, rocky paths again could almost give you a panic attack. Of course, I felt bad for both of them, but sometimes it's kinda good to know you're not the only worst hiker. You're just one of many.
Still good. But I wish if I had more water. I'm just thirsty. And thunder. I hope it will not rain until I get to the mountain hut. 20 minutes. Let's do this. Sometimes I wonder, why do I do the things I do? I'm hungry for Sri Lankan rice and curries now. But more than food, I need water.
By this point, my body had started to really feel the altitude. I had a headache, and those last 20 minutes before reaching Satagaya Hut felt like 2 long hours.
I just arrived at Satagaya and they asked me to feel they just have, I think, altitude sickness. I have a headache.
ディナーすぐ食べれますか？大丈夫。
At Satagaya Hut, I met my friends Chari and Sumudu who had arrived earlier. And honestly, at the end of a hard day, it feels like such a blessing to have good friends with you, to share the challenges you faced, swap funny stories, and of course, laugh out loud together. Somehow, all the pain and tiredness just melt away, leaving you feeling warm, cared for, and happy. Being above the soft layer of clouds, stretching all the way to the horizon, is a feeling I simply cannot put into words. Finally, I got to enjoy the Sri Lankan rice and curries I had been craving thanks to Chari and Sumudu, and the dinner provided by Satagaya Hut was warm and delicious too. After the hut keepers realized we were friends, they kindly moved us to a spot where we could stay together more comfortably, even though we had originally booked separately. It was getting colder and colder, and there's an unbreakable bond between Sri Lankans and tea. So even after that super big dinner, our hearts were still craving a hot cup of tea, the kind that warms you from the inside and makes the chilly mountain night feel super cozy. There was a Japanese flag covered with messages and signatures from hikers all around the world, and we added Sri Lanka's name to the mix. It's morning and this is the view behind me. Actually, we are above the clouds. Beautiful but drizzling here. Successfully made it to the 6th station, and it's still kind of a little bit rainy. None of us feel that much of tired, But I think the hardest part comes between 6 and 8. Let's see. The view is so beautiful. And Sinta sent it to me from Sri Lanka to Japan after knowing that I'm going to climb Mount Fuji. Thank you, Sinta. Feels so good. Thank you, Sinta. I think a lot of first-time hikers on the Yoshida trail get confused around at the 6th station. Probably what happened to the 2 hikers I met yesterday. There are actually signs for 2 different 5th stations. The Yoshida Trail 5th station and the Soburu Line 5th station. If you didn't start from the old forest path like I did and came by Tuobaso on your own, don't follow the Yoshida Trailhead sign when descending. Follow the signs to the Soburu Line 5th station instead. Otherwise, you might end up lost in the old Yoshida Trail forest. And you know, not everyone will be lucky enough to run into a friendly stranger like me to guide them back. It's pretty cloudy here. We are between 6 and 7. We have raindrops everywhere. It's like we are in middle of a rain cloud now. After the 6th station, the real challenge began. Endless steep, rocky lava paths that seem to never end. This is the stand given by the 7th station. This is from the 5th station. How much was this? This is 500 yen. This which I think also 650. 650. Between the 7th and 8th stations, we finally spotted mountain hearts and thought, yes, this must be the 7th or maybe the 8th station. But no. The hearts just kept appearing, teasing us along the way, making the climb feel even longer than it already was. The hearts themselves are a lifesaver. You can buy almost any hiking essential, even oxygen cans, and of course, food and drinks at reasonable prices. Make sure to have cash on you and don't forget some 100 yen coins for the toilets. Just as we were catching our breath, Charu received an urgent alert. The typhoon was on its way.
Urgent notice, typhoon yakinawa.
Up the mountain, steep and high, every step a struggle, a heavy sigh. Rocks and boulders, a treacherous climb, but I'll keep pushing against the tide of time, Climbing higher, reaching for the sky. I'll face the challenges and learn to fly. With every step, I'm growing strong, overcoming obstacles all along. Doubt creeps in, whispering defeat, but I'll rise above with steady feet. Strength from within, a burning fire. I'll reach the summit, my heart's desire. Climbing higher, reaching for the sky. I'll face the challenges and learn to fly. With every step, I'm growing strong, overcoming obstacles all along.
During dinner, everyone was talking about the approaching typhoon. Some hikers had come from all over the world just to catch one of the most beautiful sunrises. And it's not cheap either. With no internet connection to check the forecast or the updated news about the typhoon, we had to choose stay another night or leave at dawn. The hard checkout time was 5 a.m. and the keepers warned public transport might be suspended. So we decided to leave. At 5 a.m. we set off in heavy rain. I couldn't film the journey back at all. The descent didn't have rocky lava paths, but the slippery gravel, strong wind and steep slopes made it challenging. The fifth station was a total mess. Storm hitting us, nowhere to take shelter, and the area was kind of flooded. Everyone was packed into the tiny bus station and buses were cancelled. But you know what felt amazing? Being in the middle of that cheerful crowd celebrating even the tiniest blessings despite all the total chaos. Why do the gods always seem to choose the hardest to reach mountains to live on? Reaching a summit is a challenge in itself, but the struggles you face and the view from the top humble you. They remind you that you're just a tiny part of nature, not its master or controller. Mountains help you conquer your fears, uncover the strength hidden inside you, and even answer questions the material world never could. Up there, your soul feels full, filled with pure energy and happiness. Maybe that's why the gods choose to live high in the mountains.